that we are having in the society, and you'll agree with me, when you walk around, you'll hear thoughts of how there is quite a lot happening around the decay of character amongst our youths, and what exactly is making our youths to morally decay. How can we shape up the character of these young adults, and what does it take as a society, as parents out there, to make sure that we shape the character of these students, as well as the young adults who are growing up, but of course making sure that they grow up being people who understand what morals are, as well as what discipline is. That is what we are discussing this morning, together with my guest, a gentleman who understands matters to do with the youth, simply because he has so much engaged and mingled with them, talking about various issues, about guidance and counseling, what have you. And that's why I had to find time and invite him once again to shed some bit of light concerning this topic of discussion that is shaping character. And I'm talking about none other than Mr. George Otieno Kogallo himself. Good morning, sir.
Good to see you. How are you? Welcome back. Right. And just in case somebody had missed our previous episode and was wondering who exactly is Mr. George Kogallo.
A brief introduction of yourself.
Fine, that's very wonderful. First of all, I appreciate most of you for giving an invitation. We applaud you for being in our business, because these are things that we have missed in our lives. So my name, as has been said, I'm George Otieno Kogallo, hail from Vigadini. I'm just someone who comes from the locality, and my main aim and obligation within the community is I'm someone who stirs a cup and remove flavor around in it. I start greatness in the youth, I start greatness in corporate world, I start greatness in our women groups most of the time, so that people can as well realize their dreams and achieve, and to ensure that whatever they do can also help the community. So I'm been doing about guiding and counseling, motivational speaking, most of the schools, and as well as doing the COVID-19 sensation, the giant that has killed most of our job seekers, and also has paralyzed education in our schools. All those things when combined together are my duties that I've been ordained to do within the community, so that I become an asset to the community where I live.
Right. And you're quite an asset.
Yes, very true. Right. And of course, we congratulate you for the few things you're doing up there. It's quite a lot. It takes a lot to do them, because simply it's not everyone who can do what you do, coming out and speak boldly about issues and making sure that we bring our youth together, making sure that they live a good life out there. But today now, we're looking at character and discipline.
Yes.
First and foremost, are they two
Distinct things.
So I always believe when you are tackling an issue, you go to the root cause of it. Because when you talk about character, this is different with the discipline.
Right.
When we talk about character, I think it's an exposed habit of somebody that has been seen. That's where someone can be described of a good character or a bad character. And when it talks of habits, we have got the good habits and what's called the vice, where the good habits are the ones that generate you to have a good attitude to the people, and the vice are the bad habits that makes to have a bad character. So I would like to take a little bit of 3 minutes just to describe the rightful issue when a child is still in the home.
Right.
Of the mom, the child nerves and all the things, senses are connected to the mom using what is called umbilical cord. When whatever happens to the child, the mother is aware. And even whatever happens to the mother, the child is very much exposed, and even the mother falls. Definitely, it's an obviously that even the kid will also feel it. So what happens is that environment inside the womb is totally different with the one that's outside. When the child has been born, that umbilical cord, that attachment between the mother and the child is cut,
right,
exposing the child now to the environmental factors. That's why they start crying, because they are no longer in the world where they were. Things have really changed. So I always say, you hear of huyu mtoto wa mama, mtoto wa baba. Why do we say so? Because it's the mom who has been with the kid all the time, right from the birth. So as the kid grows, the kid sees what the mom does. The kid does not know most of the things until he grows old, grows old.
Right.
So whatever you do as a parent, if you teach that child on how to live, he's copying you. If you are someone who maybe you would want to have dreads in the morning, when you go to your side mirror and take the channel and try to do, the kid will also copy. He's copying you because he does not know. So the character that the kid is going to face mostly affects you. If you are going with this kid, taking this kid to the church or the mosque, he lives a life that right from the beginning, I need to go to the church. Right. I need to study. I need to do things. Now, what comes now, the character is environmental factors under which now they live outwardly. Apart from after inception. That's the bone of the contention. Why I'm here now. I've brought you all the way from now. We were in the womb. Now we have been born. Now we want to do the adaptation. We want to know what makes us misbehave. And what makes us lack that discipline.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we
look at what makes people to misbehave, are you in agreement that currently, with the kind of generation that we have, is that there is total misbehavior?
Very correct. This is something that I've been trying to tell and to give the public awareness. Just to be brief. Even when you are walking on your way, nowadays things have turned. It is you to give the youth the way, not them to give you the way, and you're an old one. You see, that's just a bit of it. Things have totally changed. Why do we change? Where did that respect go to? Because initially, during long time ago, in a community, when a child is born, a child belongs to the community, whereby he can get most of the guidelines from even other neighbors, from other people. But the current situation where we are now, you cannot correct somebody's daughter or somebody's son in your own way. The father or the mother will ask you, unampigia kelele, unamsomea kama nani? He does not want you to chip in. And himself is not around to take care of the kid. That is the exposure.
Right.
Yeah. So those things are totally different. Character and the discipline.
Very true. Now,
looking at the character now, before we even come to discipline, you explained to me that it's true
and it's evident out there that things are not right in terms of character, especially from the youths and the young adults. What makes the youths out there to misbehave and have bad character?
First of all, I'll go, when you are doing the guiding and counseling, there is the biblical aspect of it. I will not state to state the Proverbs 22:6. We state that train a child on the way
he
to
go. Right.
As he grows, he'll never depart from it. How did you train your child? Right from the inception. That's why I took you from that level to where you are. It is because of the parental guidance that we have lacked. The parents have got the backlog of the duties that they do to the extent that they neglect things that are going to straighten their children, who are the arrows of the economy. Now, if we have people who have a bad character, who are going to be the governors or the leaders of this nation, so the parents owes almost 90% of the child guidance and counseling before he goes out to meet even the other teachers. And we have what the sources, the assassinators of the character. Currently, what affects our youth is the assassins of the characters, like the social media.
True.
Whereby they meet in the groups. The things that they discuss there from the YouTube, they are things that waste their time, not things that can bring a meal on a table. That's what I do encourage them. I give them what's called the speeds of 30-30. I always tell the principles of 30-30 say that is 30 minutes. Take 10 minutes worship. Take 10 minutes pray.
Right.
Take 10 minutes and sing a song. Will help rather than taking much of your time into things that does not add value unto you.
Right.
Yes. Those are things that contribute to a. The other thing is the social peers and the background. Parents should know to which group does their children move with around when they're out. Maybe you must have brought the child in a good manner, but due to the fact that the environment is not conducive for him to grow well because you are nowhere, what do? They involve themselves into the groups that are not good. That's why most of them are getting the drug addicts. Most of them are getting the sexual harassment, all such kind of odd things that happen to our children because of parental neglect. A son, before even the curfew, a son will come to the house at 11 p.m. Will knock the door and the parents will open the door, and the parents will not even ask the son where he is from.
Right.
Why? Because they fear. And the children that we have today is they can do things
And they can also threaten even the parent, if you don't accept what I'm telling you, then I will commit suicide. Are you seeing the level of suicide effects within our country?
Quite true.
It depends now how we brought our children.
Right.
Yeah.
No. And you've mentioned something here about parenting.
Yes.
And you say that it jets back to how you bring up your kid.
Yes.
That's where with that way you can shape the character of your kid. Now, if I was to be a parent now, and I want to make my kid have a good character, where would I even start from now?
The only thing, I'll ask you to be godly and have the godly ways. And I'll simply tell you to train this child on the good aspect and where you want to lead. First of all, how do you behave as a parent? It matters a lot when it comes to the parental change.
My behavior as a
Your
parent.
behaviors as a parent matters a lot. You can't tell me that you are coming with the beer in the house, an extra in the house, putting there on the table and drinking in the house. Well, I'm there and you expect me not to do so. And yet I dropped the school because of lack of AB's pros and cons of life. And what do you expect me to do? Because I know, you're my parent. What we're doing is good.
Right.
So we have to change our tactics of living and how we can guide these children so that we lead them in a nice manner. I told you very well when I came here how I was brought up and how I schooled, staying in a town, alone, with my brother toiling and moiling. And what is paining me to date, the person who toiled and moiled to educate me died without even staying in an electrified house or even married, simply because he was paying me the school fees.
Right.
And to add on, my mother could not be given money because of my school fees. So I went to school with instructions. Stay here, don't joke with education. Sina pesa kupatia mama.
Right.
I challenged them when the results came out. And during those times, it was not easy. But what of the youths of today? Can they be left even in a house for years without even getting themselves, involving themselves into discourse or other things? It's not easy. It is because the way I was brought up initially, right from the beginning.
Right.
Yes.
If what was told to you if what you're told, and supposing kids and the youths of this time are being told what you were told, like if you don't go to school, if you don't do what is right, I have no money to give you, would you think they would have taken it so seriously as such?
When you talk of 100, 60 will hear you, but not all people will absorb what you are saying because of the behavioral factors. So what you do, keep on pressing and pushing, because you want to know the destination of this kid. They don't know. And also, I told you that whenever I see a boy, I see a great leader.
Right.
When I see a girl, I see a great woman of substance to the economy. But the tragedy falls in when the great man I saw in that boy dies.
Right.
When the great substance I saw in this woman also dies. So what do? We have to recollect ourselves and give the proper guidance and counseling on the moral values that will not even taint our youth's names wherever they go.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. Right. Remember, ladies and gentlemen out there, we are discussing a very important topic here, particularly those of who are parents and those who are young adults, simply because we want to help somebody to shape up the character and discipline of their kid. If you are a parent out there, how do you see yourself in terms of making sure that you shape character? How do you see yourself bringing up your kid in making sure that he or she learns a good character going forward? How do you see yourself? What is your experience in terms of handling different characters of your kids? And that is what we want to hear from you. You can share your comments via the number you see below your screen. Move also to our social media platforms as well. If you are so much into the internet and bundles, you can share your comment on that same matter. We are tackling that together with my guest, a gentleman who understands what we are saying here in relation to character shaping, and as well as making sure that we instill discipline in our young youths and young adults who are coming up. Mr. Kogallo.
Yes, sir.
When I see the term character, it makes me confused. Is it that people don't understand these youths, that you want them to behave in some kind of way that is quite, rational, it's quite not even possible? Like, tuende kila mahali tukipatia kila mtu shikamo. Is that what you call character?
No, that's a normal greeting. Shikamoo, that's just those are greetings like you can tell somebody good morning.
Right.
But that's okay. Even also to say some youth does not even say good morning to their parents, even good morning to their neighbors.
Right.
And that's very much vital. You don't say good morning to me and you repeat always all the time, and your application comes on my desk to interview you. How do I perceive you? Greetings is the most important things when you wake up in the morning. Even most of the youth does not even say, Mommy, good morning. Even Daddy, how are you? Daddy, how was work? They don't ask. Why? Because they are not used to it. And those small things, petty things that they ignore, those are the things that affect the family. And sometimes also the parental agreement inside the house. Some parents, when they go into the house, when they're outside, you can see them. But when they're inside, they don't talk. There's no communication in the house. And what is communication?
Right.
Communication is a lubrication oil in any relationship. Tell me a relationship that will exist without a communication. So the parents should also communicate themselves here. The one wanasemaga, sometimes they put on that red cloth and make tuko pamoja inside, but when they are inside, they are not together. You see, but outside they are together. That is what, from there, beginning, the building of the child behavior start right from that house.
Right.
As you expose this kid to the community, to the public domain. Yes, that's the most important thing.
But that public domain and the community you're talking about here, they have so much expectations from the youths.
Yes.
Like you find the community saying that so-and-so's daughter, so-and-so's son behaves so badly. You wonder, why would they even care about somebody's life, you know? Why would you even want to, you know, it's like when you speak to the youths, they will tell you, the community and the society expects us to behave in some kind of way, I don't know how. Is it the same case that you see it from your side?
What is happening is we have the moral values. For someone to be told behaving badly, there's something that went wrong. The moral values will dictate you to be appreciative. People will appreciate you. And also, they say that people are not 100%. But what is the public perception according to as an individual?
Right.
That's where the peer influence comes in. Because you never started it the way you are now. Because of the environmental factors that has made you to do so. Even right from the home, you cannot even get those parental love. Filial and the parental love. So what you do, you get it outside of the people. And as you get it outside, people are going to pollute you. Once it has been polluted, it gets exposed it gets to expose. And once it has been exposed, it becomes a character.
Right.
A character, you will know that I'm a bad character only once I've exposed it.
Okay.
Yes. It will know that now this person of a bad character, that girl you are talking about, because there's something that he did or which is immoral to the social people. There is public outcry when it comes to the behaviors of these our youths. For sure, something needs to be done. And in fact, if I wish I could be in power and in authority, that I could even have resources, something just to upkeep them. I would want to organize my own communal talks on the behavior and the behavioral change, especially the use of the phone, the most dangerous thing. Do you know that many youths have lost employment and they cry that we are not employed? Why? They wrote an application using a number. Like my number is 0721982244 and sent application somewhere. So they don't always want to wait. They are not patient. It takes 2 months. You find that this person, the job opportunity is already there and is being called and cannot be got. Why? Is ever mteja. Simply why? Alichukua fuliza na hiyo number, destroy the card, akatupa. So they are throwing their blessings and they don't know. One youth will have 6 numbers.
Right.
All with debts. Go to the CRB. You'll find the dangers of our people. And the number that you destroyed is the same number that you used to apply for that job. Later on, you are complaining that your God has never remembered you or you don't have a job. Do you know that you have thrown your job?
And you never remembered yourself.
And you never remembered yourself what you did.
Right.
So they take these nitty things that they ignore. It's what I'm trying to force into them. If you use a number, maintain that number, have even one particular number that you use for your own issues. The God's blessings are following you, but you don't know. You destroy yourself.
Right. Does spiritual matters, religion play a role in terms of shaping character?
When I started, I told I'm very much biblical and I do that in most of the churches. Just talking to the youth. churches should also ensure that they talk to you and they have got their special program. Like now I'm with you. They call even somebody like me, George Kogallo, I'm a volunteer, call me, I come. I will sit with them and I will show them the way out. I was brought from a town and I was staying alone. And I never misbehaved, and I was a day scholar, and I was even the head boy of the school.
You were in rural areas.
That's now Nyalenda. I'm back to Nyalenda.
Supposing you are here in town. How would you, don't you think it will have met some
Nyalenda
people?
is also a town. Don't forget that.
Right.
There we have discourse. We have got people who take banks. We have got the burglars and all such kind of things. And that's where I was brought. Slums. And I said no to what my brother said, because for me to go to school, it was not easy. Even after that, I've been paying my own fees, even now my children. It has not been no easy. That's why I am tax fix, and it taught me what? Speed. All this taught me what is called speed, which has been helping me in my always, or wherever I go and work. People like and love me because I don't walk, I walk very fast. You will never see me walking slowly. People complain. Why? Because some used to beat me so much with the I walk very fast. Hakuna director anataka kuajiri mtu mzembe mwenye anatembea polepole kwa kazi yake. And wherever I go, I'm the leader. I be the manager. It's not my life. I thank God for that. And from where? From the source. And I went to school with the word. Soma, sicheze na kitabu. Even God framed the world with the word. Let there be the word. Now, why don't our youth also follow this thing? Simply because they don't have other people who can also inject these knowledges to them. And Kogallo is here.
Very true. Right. Will you also be explaining to me later on how can people like you come on board and making sure that they help out and making sure that also they at least help these kids in making sure they know the right way. You know, we may say that the kids are supposed to be directed, but there is no one to direct them.
Yes.
And we'll be blaming them day in, day out, and nothing changes. Yeah. But that will be coming to discuss later on. And looking at character itself now, the role, you've spoken about the role of the parent, yes? Now, do I as an individual have a role to play in shaping my character, myself?
It is an obviously, the life is yours. In chapter 4 of the Kenyan Constitution, there is the fundamental rights. You have the right to live. How do you want to live? You have to make a choice. And you are free to make a choice, but you are not free to face the consequences of the choice that you have made. Are we together? You can make a choice because you are free. So you are the chief architect now of your own personal character. And you must also understand your parent and also understand that sometimes people does not even have their parents.
Right.
Think and know, where am I going? Ask yourself, who am I and where am I?
Right.
Then that one will drive you. I will not forget about my great word called passion, being passionate. Being passionate is something, it is a will to your vision. And you cannot achieve more if your character is not well built. So me personally, I have to think of this. I built and changed my character outwardly so that I can meet the market demands for my breakthrough and my success.
Right.
Yes.
Very true. And you know, when you're talking about it's my choice on how I'm supposed to be living. Now let's take for instance, I have maybe somebody has told me you're behaving so badly, your character, you know, it's so wanting, you have a very bad character, and I need to change. Where do I even start from? We have got,
first of all, if you need to change, I believe it comes inward from your heart, because it is your attitude. What is attitude? It's the innermost feelings, favorable or unfavorable situation about somebody, where you say you have that attitude of your boss, about your job. So you have to change your attitude, and you are willing to do so. So there's no barrier when it comes to that. Yeah.
Right. So you want to tell me that you can't change?
No. When I talked of making choices yours, is make a good choice. Because the bad choice that you can make will lead you into problems.
You know, Mr. Kogallo here, changing myself might be so difficult. You know, there are people out there who want to change, but they find it hard in terms of making sure that they do what is right, you know. Something pulls them back and make sure that they go back where they were. How would you,
right.
You know?
Right.
We're trying to help somebody out there.
Yes, that's very good. If at all there's somebody who is stuck, We have, even in our village, we have got the elderly. If you cannot get the knowledge from the parents, we have got the elders. We have got even our chiefs. We have got the people like us around. Many people are calling me and many people are coming to me, even the groups, for at least just a word. Why don't they look for such kind of people also? There is also the rehabilitation centers. But don't wait for yourself to be taken to the rehabilitation center, because that way the situation shall have gone worse. So the only thing is, groom yourself and grade yourself and change, because change is a must for you to prosper.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I feel I should tell these people. Don't be alone also, because if you think, if you are alone, you may think of the evil things that may deteriorate, may interfere with your brain. Be sharing issues. Most of the people who does not share issues fall themselves victims of in killing themselves. That's why I scare them from being alone all the times. Just talk. People are also some quiet. Don't be quiet. Just expose and share issues. I tell the mothers, many people have come to me, even some of the mothers, tell me about their situation, their children, or what have you. The only thing that you do, first of all, note the parents. How do you take care of this kid?
Right.
Yeah.
Taking care of the kid also is key.
Taking care of the kid. Because, okay, I'm sorry, the state of affairs of the single mothers. Those mothers are really facing difficulties when it comes to raising, because the parental children, they need both the parents, the father and the mother. These people, they have got the role to play in the growth of the child. A situation comes whereby people separate. The single mother, it's obvious that the mother will have the children.
Right.
So it depends on how that mother is going to take care of the child. That's why you find that even the father can even go to the court of law to take a kid from the mother to stay with, simply because the mother is misbehaving. The rule allows. You give the reason why you want to take the kid before 18 years. But why? Because there is a misbehavior and you want your child to go higher.
Right.
And the mother is trying to lag the child behind. So, but when these people come together, they share the ideas and they build the growth of the child, definitely there will be a good foundation laid. Yes.
Right. Now, when we're talking about laying the right foundation specifically for your kids, does it matter whether if it's a boy or a girl?
That's now we are talking of gender. This issue is mtoto ni mtoto. Most of the people now, those are this long time ago when they used to say that I need a son. The son is better than a girl. Those gone are the days. Most of the people who are helping their parents are ladies.
Right.
And I'm very much happy when I see even ladies driving these trucks. I feel so happy. In fact, I stand and look at them and say, good. I feel what a man can do, a woman can do better.
You agree to that?
I am agreed. What a man can do, a woman can as well do. If a man can drive a truck from Mombasa to Congo and a woman does, it's only that there is that kind of stigma. And also we need to do some other issues so that we expose them to other ways of life, because most of this time, the current generation, there's too much of singlehood. How will you survive if you cannot do it? And that you have got a driving license. Can you just wait and start involving yourself in devices to be polluting the community, and yet you have got the driving license? What is for it? And you can do it better. Why don't you go out? Go out and do it and earn something for the living for your children.
Right.
Yeah, you can't sit on your potential. I'm a potential activator. Don't allow that.
Potential activator.
Yes, activate the people's potential to ensure that the dream that you have can make you bring a meal on the table.
Right.
Can I tell you something that I'm doing within Changamia, but people thought that it was just a joke, despite of my knowledge and despite of my interpretation, despite of my teaching. Somebody just, you see, have you ever come somebody trying to pulling maybe these children toys within Changamwe? That small car that they see me using, to them they see this person, what is this person doing? And that one is my source, in my Go Weather investment, where I am the director. That is an inlet of income. In fact, the fourth or the fifth inlet of the income. When I go with it out, experiment it out, when I go out I come home with 3,000 shillings. And here you are seeing me there, and it's just a small kids. Why? Because I know how to talk to the kids and get man's business. People don't know. I had to do, because as an entrepreneur, I don't joke with opportunity.
Right.
But people does not realize that. So by the time when they'll see me in my big car, now I've moved, I've advanced, is when they start talking. This person knew what he was doing. That is the creativity knowledge that I want the youth even to do. Be creative enough. Don't just sit on your potential. Activate it.
Right.
And move. Whatever that you find that you can do it better. God will uplift you from that one to that level. Even right now, even if you tell somebody that I carry those kids with the car, now I'm sitting next to you, the kings now, will they accept?
No, really.
That is something, once you have realized the inlet of income into your company, do it. and to get money. I'm paying my fees, I'm comfortable. I think I'm smarter before you here.
Very true.
It's because of of my hard work. Yes.
And talking about character now, there is clear indications like it's said that in urban areas is where you find there is moral decay of character compared to the rural sides. You know, you find people saying watoto wa bara wana adabu zao kuliko hawa wa town. Is it true? Or
This one now becomes a social setup. You know, when it comes to rural urban movement, definitely you have got, in urban areas, we have got, that's now we have a congestion of people, and people adapt even new characters that they did not have. I'm not even afraid even to give you a good example, the behavior factor. Someone who stays in Rwanda, if you take that person even to Madari or to Bangladesh here, he'll say them, where am I? He'll not even know that what has happened. But if you take a child from Bangladesh or Madari to Rwanda, ataona umempeleka USA. Why? Because the swimming pool is there, he doesn't see, everything is there. And to where am I? So they change. So when you talk of rural movement, it brings different things in a community, the setup. So a man within a town, the characters are being interchanged. And here we have got people with the bad characters. People come, it's like importing even diseases, like now corona is not from us. It came. So people comes with the different ideas and different kinds of behaviors. And that's why if you don't take care of this son, he's going to fall into that group, and eventually he'll fall in a bad hands. That will also deteriorate the family setup. So the family setup is being the most important thing in a social life, especially during the current generation whereby we are having the mobile phones. This is something that I also try to discourage the youth, because even in 20 years time, we shall not have the youth with the eyes, because most of their time they are just here with all the screens and too much light. These things that I'm trying to warn them.
in 20 years time, we'll have youth with no eyes.
There will be no eyes. Frankly speaking, because of what? When we are going to school, we are told not even to sit next to the TV. And it's true, we have eyes today. But now the screen has been brought, the technology has brought even the screen to us. You find that they're sleeping, but the screen is just like this, they're chatting. They want to see the comments all the times, and with all the nerves of the eyes training. Then later on you see them twitching the eyes, there's a problem. I'm trying to challenge them about the phone. Do not just make a habit of constantly using the phone. This thing will all affect. The other thing is the use of the earphone. The youths are just walking along the way. Even if the car has lost the way, the driver is hooting to save their life. They cannot hear because the ears is blocked. Simply because of what? Because of this tool. This thing has got an advantage and a disadvantage.
Right.
That people need to be told, that these our youth need to be told about it. It's not, and this one as well here.
You know, Mr. Kogallo, they will say, kwamba nyinyi ni wachamba. You're trying to limit their fun. They will say, you know, when you tell us like that, you're trying to limit our fun. Let us enjoy life, you know. Yeah?
You enjoy life at your parents' expense. Once you have been knocked there, your parents will take care of you. So what you do, behave with it. Everything. I was told, my agriculture teacher told me, for a tool to last longer, use it to the correct purpose. You cannot take an axe to cut in your hair, and you cannot take a razor blade even to cut a very big tree. Each and every tool has got its own purpose at its own time. So if you talk of that, mashamba, kuna cha ushamba kwa maisha, I'm just trying to shape you so that you can enjoy. Because remember, when you were young, you cannot understand what you're being told. Unaona, okay, I remember this. My sister and some of my brothers, when you are a child, nilikuwa naona pia napigwa sana, because I used even to work in our father's shop and what have you, those days kitambo sana. Nilikuwa napigwa sana, nilikuwa naona nateseka ama nateswa ama naambiwa vitu vya urongo. Brother did not know that those are the blue band and bread I smear in my house today. All those things that they are being told and they are trying to ignore, those are the bread and blue band they shall smear in their houses with their wives and children, where their parents will not be there. So they have to be strictly adhere to this.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. So at least they should be knowing how to use the tools we're talking about here.
Know how to use the tool that you have. Do you know that most of the people are in police custody simply because they misuse the phone? Just taking and texting, insulting somebody using the phone, simply because of the anger. Why? And if at all there was no phone, you could have not been there. Right. So if at all you use it nicely, it is for your benefit. Because even the police people, they are very much busy expanding the cells because the population is increasing. I don't want to meet youth there, but I always tell the youth when I go to the school, I want you to be meeting in the international airport going for further studies outside in 10 years. I don't want to meet you in the police corridors. So hear what I'm telling you. and they're here.
Very true. Right. Looking at character now, it's in itself, before we get to look at discipline, somebody will say that how can the society now play a role in shaping out the character? We live in a society where if you want to correct somebody, you will hear the parents saying, no, 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 don't do that. How can they even chip in and shape out the character?
Okay, sometimes the society can come in different ways. Some people are being shaped once they have done a mistake. That's why they will take the police. Not that people who are taking the police custody, they're bad. It's just a character shaping. Because you are too much in the community. And I've seen most of the people, once they have been taken to such places, even in the prison, when they come home, they're very much okay and they challenge. So that's another way, that's another hard way of shaping a character. The other thing is, just I talk of the parental, now we are talking about the society. We need to have even maybe the forums within the society.
Right.
The forums, even a week or twice in a month. This one is vital to our people, telling them about how they can how they can change their character, behaving. Because your character brings your perception to the public. You want to be a leader. How have you been behaving to the people? You want to go even to somewhere else, and your fingerprints has been consistently taken to the police station. Where will you get those certificates?
Right.
Those are the characters, and those are the things, the vital things that we need to tell these people in advance. And I know the economic situation does not allow the parents, because they wake up in the morning, they come in the evening. When they come, the children are still asleep, are already asleep. When he wakes up, they have gone to school. So they have got little time even to discuss them. Let us, most even the organization who are outside there, maybe who are listening to us, can also come to the community just to collect. This one is a collective ideas, so that we can share this knowledge to these people by trying to tell them the importance of character and the advantages of you being of a good character. That will make you live a very nice life without any commotion, without any friction with the community, with your parents, even the police officers. Do you know why people, when they see police officers, they are just running away? Right. Because definitely somebody feels so guilty. Go to here next to where the conductors are. Weka Land Rover police hapo, kila mtu atakuwa mbio. Sababu tayari ndani yao uko guilty. So let us not have the youth who are already guilty with themselves. Be smart and stand firm.
Right, very true. And if you, how can a parent now balance between shaping character and not being strict, over being strict now?
No, strictness is something good, but not over being strictness. There's what is called the listening. Listen and understand your kid. Sometimes some parents have got a bad behavior. They don't want to listen to their children. I've seen also this one. They don't even to understand even their children. So you don't need to be too much aggressive. Have you ever seen a situation where I've heard even the radios that parents beat even the children till death, simply because of something minor? Why do you cane until you beat it, you kill a child? And when you kill a child, it's definitely you are in the problem. So the parents should be listening, cooperate, understand, have the virtues, have the virtues. Be a virtuous parent, so that you can understand your kid and shape. Saa zingine kuna kitu anaweza saidia, lakini you are ignoring. Why do you ignore your kid? And also there is what's called, when I go outside, it's a market approach. But now when the approach, when you have got an issue, how do you approach your parents?
Right.
It matters. Mimi namwambia mama, leo kifika saa 10 nilikuwa nataka kuwa na mkutano nawe kidogo. Mtoto parents ataanza kuchangamka akili. Mama, kuna kitu inanisumbua. Naomba tu nisaidie. Sitaki kwenda yenye nikaona tuseme. Unajua mtoto atakuwa amekuchallenge.
Right.
And I always advise even the families in a week, have a family meeting in the house. It helps.
Okay.
Even in a midweek, it helps. You pray together and advise one another. And from there, a parent, definitely will know the parent, will know mtoto mwenye ako na shida. As a parent, when you are taking breakfast in the morning, you are killing your brain cells of what they are going to eat at lunch, but then they know obviously there is lunch. When you take that lunch, you are thinking of what they are going to eat at supper, but your brain cells are dying here. That's why you see people are just moving like an engine piston, thinking on what they will be on the table. So from there, in that gathering, nani mbona leo unakaa hivi? Mama, kuna kitu. From there, you'll depict. Do your statistics and you'll depict and call this kid outside a candle. Mpeleke out. When you kumpeleka out, change the environment. Even for God, even to bless Abraham, for Abraham to be the father of all the nation, he was commanded to leave his own place to go somewhere else. Sometimes you cannot get the development where you are.
Okay.
You have to go out. You have to change. Why do you see that when the MCAs want to pass the laws, what do? You'll find that they have gone into Switzerland. When they come here, things have changed. What about even our politicians? They go somewhere very far. When they come here, things have changed. So change of the environment sometimes matters a lot. Give them even time to go and visit their nephews, their cousins, wherever they are, so that from there you come and see, you value. Because the environment is totally different. Give them time also, but being careful and trying to tell them of the disadvantage of the things that can happen to them. Yes.
And saying it as it is.
Yes.
You know, the problem with our parents nowadays, they just sugarcoat things and just leave it up there. They, maybe our African cultures does not allow us to speak about other things. Do you feel also parents need to come out and be bold enough to face their children and say what they are supposed to know?
Yes. Why not? You have to be bold. Some issues you cannot get when you are so light to these are children. So there are very many ways. As I told you, sometimes you can even take them for out. At utapata mambo mengine. Ama sometimes you can even buy them even a present. Be a parent or a parent who can even buy a present. Then utakwambia. So be bold. Saa zingine wamefanya kitu lakini wewe hujui. Wazazi wanapitia makali sana na kuambia na watoto. Na mimi huwa nasikia. Wanapitia makali sana. Sababu gani? Wamefanya kitu kule nje, lakini wanakuja kunyamaza, kunyamaza sana. Mzazi anakuja tu, mzazi mwingine amekuja. Like for instance, I witnessed a situation whereby mama amepatia mtoto pesa bandia, akaenda kwa duka. Alipopatia mtoto pesa bandia kuja kwa duka, mwenye duka akashika mtoto, yuko wapi mtoto, akamleta mtoto pale. Huko mama ametoka. Pesa umetoa wapi? Mimi nimepata. Alipiga huyu mtoto mbele ya some of the brothers. That one, the kid knows that I will never go back there again. And first of all, I will always see money because the mtoto hajui pesa. Wanajuaga watu ni wajinga, sio hivyo. So those are the things. If you cannot train your child, the watu will train the child for you.
Right.
Yes.
And it will be no worse.
It will be more worse, like beatings and that's it. Yeah.
Right, that is quite an explanation from my guest. That is Mr. Kogallo, George Otieno. He calls himself. He's quite a potential activator. He's here to try and shed more light concerning character and discipline. We are done by looking at what exactly is character, how can you shape your character yourself, and how can the society at large make sure that they chip in shaping up of the character. Now, we want to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be looking at discipline on itself now. What exactly is discipline? How do we define discipline? Is there a difference between character and discipline? Our schools, you find so much in discipline cases in our schools. And there is so much also happening in our schools. Talk about the issue of punishments, on how they are being punished. Others are saying that things are not working. Looking at our times, at the time we were schooling, and right now is that there is quite a rampant increase in discipline cases. What went wrong, and how can we bring ourselves back to the line of discipline? That is also what we are coming to discuss up next after this short break. Remember, as we proceed with the discussion, we'd like to hear what you have to say concerning the show. Where exactly are you watching us from, and what do you have to say concerning our topic of discussion, that is character and discipline? And of course, if you want to share your experience or any questions to my guest, you can do so via the number you see below your screen. Also, you can move to our social media platform. But for now though, allow us to take a breather. We'll be coming back in just a moment.